Hello students, today's topic of discussion is EVS 1. Chapter 2, Motions of the Earth. So today we are going to study about rotation, the Earth's rotation, sunrise and sunset. So let's get started with it. Let's first understand the term rotation. For this, let us try this activity. Take a top, spin it and observe its movement. The top turns around itself. Observe the top. Any object that turns about itself actually turns around a certain imaginary line. Imaginary line means that when an object turns around itself, we feel as if it is turning around a particular line or a line which is there and it's turning around itself. So there is no such line over there. We feel as if there is a line around which the top is moving or the object is moving. So in the picture that is shown, we can see there is a line drawn with a dotted line. This dotted line. So this is the axis of rotation. There is no such line there, but we feel as if the wheel is moving around this line. So this is our axis of rotation, and the movement of rotating around itself is called rotation. Now let's understand the term Earth's rotation. Let's take another activity. Take a globe like the one in the picture and spin it. Note the line around which it rotates. Now take a plumb line and hold it close to the globe as shown in the picture. Now, what do you mean by a plumb line? A plumb line is an instrument that is used by most of the people who are in construction business to find the level of the wall. Now, if you do not have a plumb line, do not to worry. You can make a plumb line of yourself. You can tie an eraser or any heavy object to a string and use it as a plumb line. You will see that the plumb line and the Earth's axis are at an angle to each other. That is, the Earth's axis is inclined. This is the plumb line, and this is the Earth's axis. Earth's axis. They are angled to each other. They are angled to each other. That is, Earth's axis is inclined. Now, what do you mean by the word inclined? Means slanting. It is not straight. If you look at a plumb line, it is straight, whereas The axis, that is the imaginary line. We have already learned what an axis is. An axis is an imaginary line where around which an object moves. So in this case, our Earth is moving around an imaginary line which is called the axis, and this axis of the Earth's rotation is not straight, it is inclined, it is slanting. So the Earth's rotation with the axis is inclined, as you all can see in the picture. The Earth rotates with its axis inclined like this. The line NS in the picture shows the Earth's axis. Here. NNS. In the picture shows the Earth's axis. It passes through the center of the Earth. The point N and point S are called the poles of the Earth. N is the north pole of the Earth and S is the south pole. If a circle were drawn around the surface of the Earth exactly in between the north and the south pole, it would divide the Earth into two equal parts. This imaginary circle is called the equator. This is the imaginary circle. It divides the Earth into two equal parts, and this imaginary circle is called the equator. Here, imaginary circle is called equator. We learnt about what are the N and S, that is the north and the south pole. Okay, the two ends of the Earth are the north and the south poles. So if you draw line exactly at the center of these two poles, we divide the Earth into two equal parts. So it means that when we draw a line in the middle, it will divide our whole globe of the Earth into two equal halves. And this imaginary line that we draw in the middle of the Earth, in the center of the Earth, is called equator. The two equal parts it makes of the Earth is called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere respectively. Imaginary circle that divides the Earth into two parts is called equator. The parts which are divided are known as northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Now, when it is drawn, it divides the Earth into two equal parts. It makes the Earth into two equal halves. northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Now, looking at the globe from the direction of the North Pole, turn it anti-clockwise. Now, what do you mean by anti-clockwise? It means that we have to move the globe which goes against the direction of a clock, that is opposite in the direction of a clock. This is how our earth rotates, that is it rotates from west to east. As the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun, one after the other, and turn away from it also in the same order. As the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun, one after the other, as you all can see. Now let's understand the term sunset and sunrise. Stick a red bindi on the globe. Turn the globe anti-clockwise. Note, when it is sunrise, noon and sunset at the location of the bindi, after one sunrise, note when the next one occurs at the bindi. You will see that this happens when the earth completes one rotation, that is, when it makes one complete turn around itself. Red bindi. It completes one rotation. So, we will see that the bindi has come back to its position. That means it has gone through one sunrise, one noon and one sunset, and again when it turns, the process continues. So this process goes on and on and on as the earth rotates around itself. This period of time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. That is, when the earth moves one whole round around itself is called a day. A day has two parts, daytime and nighttime, or simply day and night. The part of the earth facing the sun is having daytime, and the part which is not facing the sun will have nighttime. For the purpose of measuring time, we divide the whole day into 24 parts, each of which is called an hour. In 24-hour system, the day is not divided into two parts of 12 hours each, but is a continuous period of 24 hours, that is 12 hours day and 12 hours night. So students, your today's homework is fill in the blanks. First, the motion of the earth around itself is called dash. Second, the motion of the earth around the sun is called dash. Third, the rotation of the earth gives rise to dash and night. Next, answer the following questions. First, what is the equator? Second, what are the two parts of the earth made by the equator? Students, homework is to be done only in rough book. So students, here we end with our today's EVS 1 session. In our next session, we are going to study about phases of the moon. So, we shall meet in our next session. Till then, stay home, stay safe.